We just had the first big superstar clash of Caitlin Clark's career. She faced one of the best players in the league, Breanna Stewart. To give you an idea of how good she is, she dropped 42 points the last time that she played against the Indiana Fever. Not only that, but Breanna has someone on her side, the only woman on earth who could stand next to her and Stephen Curry in the same sentence. One so great that she even got to face Steph last year in a one-on-one during All-Star Weekend, and that's none other than New York Liberty star Sabrina. I can assure you that you do not want to miss these kinds of games, but if you did, I'm here to tell you what happened. The first quarter. The Liberty's two-headed monster came out strong from the get-go. Breanna Stewart got the first bucket of the game as she gets to her spot on a mid-range pull-up. Unlike the last game though, Clark would be the next one to answer, and less than 2 minutes into the game, she would have her first bucket, tying the game 2-2. From that point on, Breanna was unstoppable. She lived in Indiana's paint and did whatever she wanted there. Here, she curled off the screen for an easy midi, and when there was too much attention on her, she would dish out the ball to the open player and find them every time. This worked perfectly for Sabrina, as this would allow her to get her first three-pointer to sink in the first minutes of the game. Their strategy was set. If you packed the paint to stop Breanna, you could be sure that Sabrina was going to punish you. On the other side of the court, Caitlin tried to answer with a three-pointer of her own, but she just couldn't get it to drop. But this time, she tried to make sure that she wouldn't let it get into her head and make her force shots up. This is symbolized in this play because as the shot clock is winding down, CC is doubled, and instead of jacking up a three, she finds the open Samuelson and dishes her an assist for the three. Sabrina didn't just force things either, she let the game come to her, and would only attempt shots when she found herself comfortable in the paint as she sank a couple of jump shots. Both teams were really emotionally invested in this game, and who said that the WNBA wasn't physical? After a hard challenge under the basket, Jonquel Jones and Aaliyah Boston would both start going at each other. If you thought that there wasn't any action in this league, I'm sure that this caught you off guard. Still, Clark wanted to get that first three. She would keep trying, but it just didn't go in. So instead, she fell back again on her playmaking skills to give out this beautiful assist to the open player in the corner just a couple of plays later. On the other side of the court though, Breanna was on fire, and the ease with which she took this step back three just shows how much there's still for Caitlin to learn. With less than 24 seconds, it was clear that Caitlin was going to try to finish the quarter with a bang, but her opponents knew this and double-teamed her, and she turns it over. At the end of the quarter, the difference in level between the two teams was clear, as the Liberty led 25-16. The second quarter. Still, Clark wasn't ready to give up yet, and she knew that a comeback would first need to start on defense. And so, just as the second quarter started, she started to be annoying on that side of the ball, even getting a jump ball. She hoped that this defensive success would translate to her offensive game, but it just didn't happen, as she once again missed this great open look. The coach would then give her a breather to let her collect her thoughts, but instead of this making the Fever lose even more, the bench actually got it back together, even getting as close as 5 points to the Liberty. But Breanna Stewart was determined to show the world why she was the reigning MVP. Not a single player on the Fever could stop her. She mastered every aspect of the game. She could finish any physical play through contact. Here, she literally did a turnaround fade off the catch on a post-up, and the ball didn't even hit the rim. Now that is elite. Oh, and don't think that she's just a good offensive player. Even on defense, no one could go past her. With this emphatic block just before the end of the half, it's Breanna's world and we're just living in it. Ionescu would start to slump a little bit, and she would miss this wide open three. Now, in her first game, maybe Caitlin would have let this occasion get to her head to try her own, but instead, she baited the entire defense and got her teammates this bounce pass under the rim for the assist. One thing about Caitlin, she is an amazing passer, and seeing the success of this play, why wouldn't she do it again? Unfortunately here, Clark commits a low-level foul. Knowing that she already had 2 fouls in the quarter about to end, this gave more fouls than points in the first half. Breanna Stewart finished the first half with 20. She carried the Liberty to a comfortable lead of 48-31. The third quarter. I'm sure that her coach talked to her to tone down this physicality, but just 30 seconds into the third, Caitlin had her fourth. Things just weren't working out for her. And bad turned to worse when Breanna Stewart decided to take this game not only as one to win, but also as a lesson for Clark. She made sure to make her understand the work that she still needed to do to get to her level. She dominated the whole game. On this play, she gets the rebound before getting the second chance points, and when she felt like it, she would hit these fadeaways, waking up her Michael Jordan DNA. She was schooling the Fever on national television. With the Liberty's lead up to 23 points, Caitlin knew that the end of the third was the last chance that they had to make a serious run. First, Clark would get a couple of free throws. She would sink both and greatly get her confidence up. From there, it was her moment to shine. 30 seconds later, she would sink her first three of the game, looking like prime James Harden with the step back. Now, the New York players knew that she was heating up, and so instead of letting her get into a rhythm, they fouled her, sending her again to the line. This meant that after only scoring 2 points in the first 28 minutes of the game, she added 7 to her counter in the span of 1 minute. The crowd was loving it, and we even heard our first crowd chants of the game.
Especially with everything that she has helped the league transform into in this season.
On the next possession, CC showed her versatility once more, because while the defense was expecting her to shoot, she instead made a great pass to the roller, jump-starting a great sequence of ball movement, which ultimately got the lead down to 11 points. The fourth quarter. Back in the fourth, the Fever were ready to finish their comeback. What they didn't account for is the experience of the Liberty compared to theirs. CC would come out rushing out of the gate, but that would only make her miss her first 3 of the quarter. Stewart, though, knew how to take her time, and like an MVP, she gave Caitlin a welcome to the WNBA moment. 1 bucket plus the foul was enough to stop Indiana's run. Not only that, but Sabrina also wanted to join in on the fun, getting her own 3-ball to fall, before getting another easy bucket thanks to a great pass and cut. This was the haymaker that sent Indiana sleeping, and definitely sealed the Liberty's win. From there, the 2 stars would let their teammates handle the business, while Caitlin wouldn't score a single other bucket. What seemed like a possible comeback at the end of the third turned into a total humiliation, as the Liberty outscored the Fever in the fourth quarter 35-10. This was a humbling experience for Caitlin Clark. I'm sure that tonight she learned that while she was a big fish in college, there are now much bigger sharks in the ocean that she's trying to swim in. The 31 points that Breanna dropped tonight seemed like 50, as she showed why she was named the best player in the league last year. And even though Sabrina didn't give a game like Breanna, she still outplayed CC. I feel Caitlin can still work on her body language, leadership, and get more comfortable with her left hand, but she is an exceptional passer. As she gets more comfortable in this league and gets her feet under her, she will be just fine and eventually become the superstar everyone wants her to be. One might think that this is a night to forget for Caitlin, but it's quite the opposite. She needs to go through moments like these to help her get into the next level. It's how she reacts to this that will determine the greatness that she will achieve.